Hello everyone, how are you? Okay. I've just noticed everything's back to front. If you just bear with me a second, I should be able to get that sorted. There we are. I think, there we are. We're working the right way around now. Well, that confused me. That confused me loads. Okay. How are we all? Lovely to have you here. Let's hope you can load. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. That was my next question, just to make sure that you could all hear me. Okay. Hi, Helen. Ah, how are you? You're the first one in. Congratulations. My sister's with us today. She's watching and she's just passed her driving theory test. So well done, Helen. Congratulations. I know she'll be super pleased and just thinks you've been out for a lovely lunch too to celebrate. So that's good news. It's a nice way to start a Tuesday, isn't it? And we've got Kathy with us and Rebecca and Jean. Hi, Kathy. Oh, thank you for that. That's great. Okay, there's a few of us here today. Perfect. Let's get going. Thanks for joining me today. Right, today what I thought I would concentrate on is the sentiment banners. So this is this week's pick of the week. Last week, if you remember, we had the paper strips, which, where are they? These ones here. So we've got two really nice little sets here. Yeah, I bet you are chuffed a bit, Helen. So you should be. Okay, so last week we had the paper strips. These were on pick of the week, but obviously they're still available on the website, and these have downloadable elements to them as well. And very similar to the paper strips there, we have the sentiment banners. Again, they have downloadable elements for you with all your sentiments, all the different family members. But basically these two are going to work hand in hand with you together. They are the backbones of all of our card making and our paper projects, because whether we're card making, whether we're scrapbooking or making different layouts, we usually want to put some sort of words on there, whether it be a sentiment or whether it want to be some sort of quote or whatever, and both of these allow us to frame those words perfectly. So last week I concentrated on the paper strips, so this week I am working with the sentiment banners, and there have been some fantastic samples into the group by the design team, as always. I know I'm part of the design team, but when I see what the other members have been making and put into the team for you as well, even I'm sort of taken aback by the fabulous projects they create. So we all get inspired by each other. So and we've all got our own different styles and all our own different takes on this, haven't we? So along with these sentiment banners, again, we do have some downloadable elements, which to find this on pick of the week, actually, if you click on the QR code that we have up here, that will take you to the front page of the website. And I was just having a little look just there. To find the pick of the week, what you need to do, you need to go along to the banner along the top that says shop, stencils, embossing folders, stamps, etc. And what you need to do, you need to hover your mouse marker or your mouse pointer over the word that says shop, and then you'll see the drop down menu, but without taking the pointer off the page or whatever, or keeping the finger down on the mouse, just you'll see the box that says pick of the week. So you need to click on the shop, but keep your finger on it, whether you be on an iPad or on a mouse. Keep your finger on the select and drag the pointer down and across to where it says pick of the week, and that will take you into the page where you will see the sentiment banners and also the downloadable elements. Now I've downloaded some of them because there are pages and pages and pages. There is so much choice for you as far as colours, black and white, different combinations of words that I would have been there all day printing them out for you, to be honest. But what I did do, I printed the majority of the black and white ones. Now, I've already taken out one of the ones here, but basically this is what you will see. You will get, first of all, your overall 3-line banner. If I just take out the dies here, you'll see that we have all of these sentiments. So this is one sentiment in itself. To the best mother in the world, thank you for all you do. Happy birthday to you. Hello, hello, lovely friend. You know, we have all of those in. This is grey and white. We also have them in black and white. And I'll just show you the difference. There you go. My printer, I've just changed the ink actually, so my printer's done a fantastic job of showing you the difference. So we have grey and white, and grey is a great one to have actually, because it's not quite as stark on the card, is it, if you want something a bit softer. But we do have the boldness of the black and white, and we also have them with the black background and the white text as well. And what we do, we take our die, the corresponding die, and we literally, as long as you print these at 100%, if you just change the scale setting on your printer, mine for some reason defaults to about 97, 98, which is a bit odd, so I have to change it. But maybe the chances are the majority of the printers are going to be set and have the default at 100% anyway. So as long as you print them at that, then your die will work perfectly. You just need to line up your die on the sentiment, run it through your die cutting machine, and you have your sentiment ready. Now what you could do, you could just print out all of the sentiments if you want to, and then just spend an afternoon just die cutting them out so you have them all available to you, or you can just print them out and just die cut them as and when you need them. So as I say, we have the grey and white, we have the black and white. I will show you the black and white because it's a little bit bolder. So we say we have our sentiments here. We also have these ones here, which is the smaller banner. And again, same thing, you just line up your die over the version and then run that through the die cutting machine. Now, we have the 3-layered version, but this one here is almost like a ribbon. So you have just the one-liner banner, but you have like the folded paper strips behind, and we also have the little triangle dies here just to add our little paper piece in there, just to give you that element of dimension, which is perfect. And we also get 4 of the actual sentiment banners, which correspond to both the words here. So if you wanted to, you could just die cut these sentiments out on their own, or you can die cut these ones out here. But if you want to keep these sentiments intact, we do actually have our sheets. Say this is all your family members, and again we have this in all of the different colorways, including the actual color ones. We have wife, husband, partner, couple, then we have the birthday, retirement, wedding, graduation. So you have all the different celebrations, and again we have them in color as well. Now this is the dark summer colors. This is the red color, so this is red onto, it's a tonal grey behind it, which is lovely, but you can see just how well and how dimensional these look. So these really are sentiments that are ready just to print, die cut and use. So again, these are the grey ones. So I really like the grey. They are not so stark, which sometimes when you do the floral, I find when I do the floral stenciling and whatever, I don't want a stark dark colour on there. I'll just go through the ones that I've printed just to show you. These are the lilac from the like the pastel shades, but then you have the summer tone ones, and this is like a real plum colour. All I've done in these ones is just printed for myself the actual sentiments. As and when I need the rest of them, I'll probably go back and print them at a later date. And then we have that really bold yellow, so actually looks a bit more orange on the screen, but it's definitely a really real strong mustardy colour. It's a gorgeous colour actually. So that's our sentiments, and again you can see I've got a nice little stack of sentiments there which I can keep and use as and when, but I've printed these onto Lisa's super smooth cardstock, which is 300 GSM. I'm told on good information that it works perfectly on the lighter weight paper that Lisa also has. I don't have any of that, but if it's as good a quality as this super smooth, yeah, it will print beautifully. I'm sure it will just be a less thinner GSM. That's I suppose. It depends what you have to hand, but say it works for me on the 300 GSM that I actually have. Now, also what I want to do, because I've had these sitting on my desk a couple of weeks and I thought I might use these with you today, are the Dazzle pastes. So I've got 3. I have the purple Fizz, actually, which I know Helen's watching. This will be her favourite. Purple and sparkle. Yeah, that would be right up Helen Street. Then this would be my favourite, the Seafoam. Oh, so this is the Seafoam, which is a lovely turquoisey colour, but it's sort of shot through with a little bit gold. And then we have Ginger Biscuit, which is a real lovely coppery colour. I think there were, I can't remember how many colours, probably 8 in the collection. So there'll be a colour for everybody. You can get them. I don't know if you can get them individually. I've actually forgot to look. Perhaps Rebecca will let us know. She's on there. I know you can get them in sets. But these are the 3 that I have. So as I say, because I haven't used them yet, I thought I'd introduce those a little bit to you as well today and just give you some ideas. Now, this is one card that I had to play with this morning and tried to create. That's Helen right. Oh yeah, I knew it'd be right up your street, Helen. This one, purple Fizz. Actually, that's quite fitting for today, isn't it? A little bit of fizz. Cheers to Helen. I'm super chuffed with it for her. I really, really am. Okay, so this is just some of the Dazzle paste that I use today. It's actually a gel paste, so it's really lovely to work with, and it's just I mean, this is just so simple. I haven't stuck it down yet because I was waiting for my paste to dry before I actually stick this to the card blank. But it's literally onto a square of black cardstock. I've used a stencil that was in my stash, one of Lisa's ones from a very first collection of stencils actually, but you can use anything. And I thought this would make a really nice card for the guys. Something's just really simple. I'm just looking at that actually. It's not too great on the colour, is there? My screen seems a little bit dark. And this is a really vibrant orange, but it's not really coming up very well there. But yeah, and I printed out the orange sentiment with the grey background, and I've put that onto a grey back in there and just put those together. I mean, the colours match perfectly, so I thought that was just a really nice simple card. So I'll show you a version of that, and then I've got a couple of other different ways of using the Dazzle paste and using the banners. So let's get crafting straight away, shall we? So I'm going to go for the messy style to start with, and I'm going to use definitely going to use 2 colours. I might try 3. So what I've got first off is a little piece of mixed media cardstock. You can use Lisa's watercolor cardstock, but it's just something that little bit heavier, which will just works better when you're putting something like the Dazzle paste on there. Something with a little bit of moisture, you need a thicker, sort of more absorbent surface to work onto. So I also have the Bubble Wrap A5 stencil here as well. Again, I've chosen stencils that I thought would work choose whatever you have in your stash. Actually, before I move on, you can see on the side here the other items that I am using. I will pop this back up on the screen at the end as well, and also I'll give all of the details in the video linked underneath a little bit later. So let's move those out the way. So I'm working onto a messy mat. I have my piece of mixed media card, and I think this is like 14 centimeters square, so this will fit onto the normal size square card that I like to work on. And what I'm going to do, or attempt to do, is create an ombre effect with my pastes and the bubble wrap stencil here. So I'm just positioning that in a place that I think looks good, and I'm just going to secure that down. I'm just going to secure the stencil in place there. So what I want to try and do is try and get a graduated look between all of these colours, just so as you can see the colours in action. And also, I think it just might look really pretty because it will just create a nice simple background for us. So let's see if I can just turn up that light a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I like to use a palette knife, and I think Lisa does as well. It's one of these metallic ones. They're actually quite flexible, but they're incredibly thin. Oh, that's a good shot there. Look, they are so thin, and that makes them really I find them easier to work with than the plastic ones, which tend to be that little bit thicker, but it really is personal choice. I mean, at the end of the day, they both do the same job. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tell you what, I am actually going to go on to camera 2 for a second. I'm going to zoom you in just so as you can perhaps see the texture of this paste and perhaps even some of the sparkle. Oh, there you go. You can see some of the sparkle there. It looks wet, doesn't it? But if I tip that, you can see that it doesn't flow. But the fact that it looks wet sort of proves, I think, that it's a real a gel-like consistency. So you can see that there. Let's try and get the camera in position. What I'm going to do is swap back to this one here so you can see what I'm doing. This camera doesn't pick it up quite as well. Oh, there we go. But you can't see the sparkle. So I'm just going to take that. I'm concentrating on getting the angle for you so you can see what I'm picking up there. So you can see that when I pick up that, the gel does keep its shape on the palette knife there. So it's really nice consistency. It's like soft butter, actually. It's really nice. And what I'm going to do, just keeping the palette knife at an angle, I'm just going to spread that over the design like so. Now I want to try and get all 3 colours on here, so I'm just going to put this on this lower level. Now if I stop talking a minute, can you hear how gritty that is? That's that shows the level of sort of glitter and the mica paste that we've actually got within that there. So you're going to have a huge amount of glitter when this dries. So I'm going to put that onto that layer, and now I'm going to do the same with the Seafoam. Now I've already opened these. This is a stunning colour. Actually, I could just leave that like that and just look at that. That is just so pretty. Let's just catch the light. Look at that there. The colours. I love it. So I'm going to take a little bit of this as well. And I'm just going to spread that over. That is gorgeous. That is stunning. These colours work so nice together. And I'm just going to just overlap a little bit into the purple there, just so as we can get just perhaps a little bit of a mixing effect. I think let's do that. Okay, and take off the excess there. They've got a real like translucency to them. They look quite bold in the pot, but once you actually get them onto the paper, they you can see where the light really catches them. They say they've got a glass-like look to them, and it was Sue who done an amazing little video demonstration for us where she put these onto acetate, and I think that is actually the perfect medium for these because it will allow the light to come through, and you can see this. You can see it's almost like stained glass. You can see that it really wants to have that light hitting it and sort of have that translucency. So they are so pretty. So what I'm going to perhaps do, I'm not going to put too much of the ginger on top because I don't want to overwhelm the two colours that we've got. But I shall give it a little go and see what I can do. Oh, Hazel's shouting at the cows. So I'm going to put a tiny bit on. Yeah, it's going to overwhelm if I put too much on. But what I'm going to do, I'm just put little bits on like this. Just so that it blends a little bit. Now you could possibly use a sponge for this. I still find that these metal palette knives work really nicely. So I'm just going to put a little bit over the top and here. Yeah, I don't want to overwhelm those other colours actually. And I think what I might do, let's clean that off. I've got some water beside me so I can put my stencil back into it afterwards. And I think what I might do is add a bit more purple on top. Oh, I should have kept that open, I think. There we are. Okay, a little bit of purple there. Now this is quite a different way of crafting for me, I must admit. I don't normally go for this sort of thing, but I had this idea in my head. You know what it's like, we just need to give something a try, don't we? So say I'm just trying to overlap those colours a little bit, just so as I'm not going to get a seamless blend, obviously, because the colours are so different, but if I can get some sort of blend going on, and just to finish off here, I might see if I can just add a little bit more of the blue, the Seafoam. Oh, there we go. You can see I'm not an overly messy crafter. I mean, really, I suppose I should have got my fingers in there, but there we go. I don't mind these being mixed too much. They're not going to turn too muddy either, because we have a good chunk of the colours showing down here. So let's just pop those back on. And let's pull this off gently and let's see what we have. So there we are. I'm going to pop. That's a shame actually. I haven't been able to get the colours quite right for you on the screen, but I will photograph this and put it in the group a little bit later. So I've just popped that in the stencil in water beside me. Actually, you would normally scrape up any excess there, but we'll just get rid of that for now. Okay, so let me see if I can show you. Oh, let's pop that in there as well, otherwise we're not going to be able to use that. Let's just see if I can show you, and I might turn you onto the other camera. There we are, that does give you a better look. You can see with tiny little bit of blending with those Dazzle pastes, or with the different colours there. The purple and the blues obviously work so well together because they're like mermaid colours. But you don't really need much more to it than that. That is just a lovely background. You could mount this onto a piece of coloured cardstock and that would really make that pop like so. And that is I would consider that a mixed media background. You obviously need to allow that to dry. Now what I've done here, I've die cut a couple of sentiments and also just a blank sentiment. This is, now do remember that your banner sentiments are actually dies in themselves. You don't have to die cut the pre-printed ones. So I've die cut a piece of sparkle card that we've got here, Lisa's glitter card, and I can back my sentiments onto them like so, and that will act just as normal sentiment, you know, straightforward, easy card straight onto there. And you can also see the advantage of having the grey background as well. Now, what I did want to show you with this, oh, screensaver keeps going on. Okay. Yeah. So I had so many ideas in my head today. You know what it's like, and I wasn't having a very decisive day. Let's put it this way. I was giving myself all sorts of scenarios, all sorts of different things I can do. So now what I can do, you can see here that this basically is a ready-made sentiment that can pop onto the background there, and you are ready to go. But what you can do, you can bring up these the rectangle dies that also come with this. Hello. Are we back? How very strange. Are we back running? Are you able to hear me? It says I'm live. I'll just wait for you to catch up with me. Hopefully you are still there. Let's just see. Oh, we're back. She's back. I'm not quite sure where I went, Kathy, to be honest with you. I really don't know what happened there. How very strange. But I'm all back. I'm all okay, am I? Oh, good. Hi, Linda. You can hear me again, can you? Okie doke. Oh, Lorraine's back with us as well. I don't know what happened there. It just said, well, I don't know what it said really, to be honest with you. Oh well, looks like we're all back. Didn't lose any people on the way. Lost myself a little bit. Anyway, where were we? Right, so we've done a background and I have taken my pre-printed sentiment, one of the lilac ones, and I'm going to use the extra dies that we have here to sort of deconstruct that printed sentiment. So I think hopefully we've all caught up, but hopefully we haven't jumped too far in proceedings. Let's just check. Back again. Yep. Everyone says I'm back. So hopefully we haven't jumped. I haven't jumped too far ahead in the process for you. I don't know what happened there. Technology, eh? Right, so I've die cut my sentiment. I'm going to keep all the extra pieces. That is really important in this. So let's get a poker tool and take those dies away. Okay, and I need that one from there too. So now basically we have our deconstructed sentiment here. You can see all the pieces. So now I want to basically reconstruct this, but put this onto the sparkle. I thought you were putting your phone into your sidekick. Oh, no. Haven't quite done that yet, Rebecca. I'm not quite that confused. I've left my phone in some odd places. Okay, so what I'm basically going to do now is reconstruct the sentiment back onto a sparkly background that we have there. So this will just give our sentiment an extra bit of sparkle. Actually, I'm not going to use glue. I'm going to use 3D foam for this. So I think I won't put too many on because we'll be here all day watching me. Put 3D foam on. Now what you could do, we could also use these pieces and offset them so we've got the sparkle as a shadow. And well, what have we got here? So that's exactly the way that I worked this sentiment here. So if you can see, I've actually put this onto a black background, but the little bits that we have in here are grey, and obviously I've used and 3D'd those sentiments there. So to be able to do that, this is how you want to create that 3D look. So let me just put these on. Okay, let's try and make a bit quicker for you. And I need some tweezers. Okay, that one and that one. Okay, so we can layer up our sentiments again. Now, obviously, you can do this. You don't have to go with these sentiments that are all already there. We have that whole list of other celebrations and different family members that you can also add to this, which would be really nice. So therefore, there we are. We have a lovely sentiment there, and just, you know, I've 3D'd that, and it's taken on a whole different look with the sparkle in the background there. Kathy, where did I get the foam pads from? Do you know what, Kathy? I have no idea. I think it's probably something I've just picked up locally. in a shop because I'd run out of other ones and I needed something really quick. But they're quite nice being little circle ones sometimes. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go onto here so I can show you this sentiment here. Just look how lovely that is, just how 3D is. And that in itself now is a centerpiece for your card, isn't it? But if you wanted to use these extra pieces, all you can do is just add those back into that area there, and you can offset them and have like a sparkle shadow as well. So that will be the way, even if you didn't want to put this onto sparkle card, you can keep those extra elements and add those in as well. And I think even that looks super pretty like that as well. Okay, so there is so many different ways that you can play with your sentiment banners, and then we can add that to our card. And that in itself, I think, is just, it's a super simple card. It's mixed media, no particular theme, so it would suit anybody, I think, which is why I've made this one, which I think, again, it just works perfectly for the guys as well. That one had a rustic look on it as well, which I think works really nicely. So I shall keep these extra little bits. If you wanted to put the tails on there as well, you can do. Let's just keep those over there. So that is one way to use your sentiments. I'm just going to put that lightly on there just while the paste dries. Okay, so that's one card. So the next card I want to do, I've got a few different elements on this one. Let's swap you back over. Okay, keep that one to dry there. So I'm still using the banners. I'm making a smaller card now. So this is an A6, but obviously everything can actually be swapped up easily to different size cards to suit. Now for this card, I'm also using the fundamentals, so the squashed ovals, which I don't think I've used yet, to be honest. I've used some of the flowers from the spring flowers, petals and stems. So this is another small A6, relatively new die set. I'm using the little daisy flowers here, pretty much in that colour combination actually, but you can use any flowers, obviously. And I've just got a couple of different stencils. Doesn't matter which ones you use. I've just picked up these ones because they're got a nice floral theme just to go into the background. So what I want to do, just create a bit of a background on the back of the card. So again, I'll put up all the details of these on the slide at the end of the video. So this is a trio, as the name suggests, and I just want to create just a nice simple background. So I'm going to pick the floral one, I think. Go with the floral one, and I'm going to use some of the what colours have I got? I've got verdigris there, so I'm going to go with the verdigris, but I really want to create just a really, oh, hang on a minute, what colours have I got? Verdigris. Oh, okay, yep. Sorry, getting confused there. So I've got the verdigris metallic ink, and I just want to just take the whiteness off the back of the card a little bit. So I'm not actually going to use too much ink. Actually, I didn't even pick up any extra ink there, if you would have noticed. So I'm just using what is left on the brush just to create a little bit of a background like that. Okay, so it doesn't really matter, as you can see, what stencil you use, to be honest with you, because well, not in this particular way. If you want to create a bigger card and make the stenciling in the background a bit more of a feature, then obviously you can do. But I just want to just take the whiteness off of that card blank. So I didn't even need to pick up any more ink there, to be honest with you. I just used what was on the brush. And that colour is perfect because I'm using the glitter cardstock again. So I've used the squashed oval dies to the nesting dies to create a matting layer. So this is the largest layer. Look at the colours in that. See, I'm going sparkly again. I'm challenging Helen today. She loves her sparkle. So I'm just going to layer that and that like so. So again, this is just a really another quick, simple make. Nice and fresh because we're working onto white. So I'm just going to put that layer down first. Again, this is an A6 card, so it's about 10.5 centimeters width, and I think it's 14 centimeters. Yeah, just over 14 centimeters in height. So the standard C6 card. So then I've created the mat and layer again from the nested dies. That's just white to go on the front. Now I'm using mixed media cardstock again, purely because I had it to hand, and it would have saved me putting it away, but I think that works. Now what I've done, I'm using this banner die, but I'm using 2 of them, and I've cut them out in white just so as I can space out the look, and I'm going to use 2 of them and create myself a little frame in the center there this time round. So this is a slightly different alternative way to using your banners than obviously we could have just used the one, but I'm going to create a little frame and I'm going to add my little flowers, say the simplest of flowers, which are often the most effective. So we're using these flowers, and I've actually gone with that colorway, 4 different blues, just die cut them without the stems. I don't need to use the stems. These blues worked perfect with that sparkle card, so I'm just going to arrange them very much in the way that they are on the packaging there, because I like it. I think it, you know, why fix something that is working, you know? If it's not broke, you know, you don't need to fiddle with it. So I'm doing exactly what Lisa has done on the packaging, and that is why Lisa's packaging is so brilliant. It gives us that inspiration. So I'm just going to put those down into place, layer them up. You can see now really why they don't need the stems. Those seafoam colours work with the glitter in the background, and I've got my 2 frames. Now I could quite legitimately have created the card, moved these up a little bit, put a couple of stems on, and used one of the banners there, and again that would be a lovely card as well. But I do just want to show you something a little bit different, perhaps something that you might not have thought of. So I'm going to create my 2 banners this way, and then I can choose my sentiments from the pre-printed sheet. Now if you wanted to stamp sentiments on there, you absolutely can, because there are, Lisa has stamps that would fit on those. I'm going to what should I do? Best wishes. I think I'm going to go for the blue as opposed to, yeah, I'm going to go for the blue. Why not? I would normally do black and white, but this, actually having these printed in different colors makes me do something that little bit different. So I've got 2 banners, so I'm going to say what am I going to do? I'm getting myself really confused now. Tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to die cut yeah, I'm going to die. Sorry, I'm just thinking to myself now. I had a plan earlier on, but I've forgotten what it was. Okay, so I'm going to take out these 2 sentiments. So I'm just cutting them away so I can actually die cut these. So I'm going to do that and that. That's move that over this side. Okey-doke. I have a plan. So I'm going to use this single line banner and die cut both of these. So I'm going to need a little bit of tape just to make sure that stays in place. Okay, and run that through. Now we do have the little release holes in these as well. So we have our little die that we have sitting there, and you can see that that works nicely on there. So, and I'm also going to die cut this one as well. And it will all make sense in a minute when it all comes together. So let's take that one away. So we have our little banners. Now obviously I'm using this one, but it's going to be upside down, so no worries. What we need to do is find oh, there they are. Find another sentiment, and I can die cut any one of these out, and I'm going to replace that there. Now the reason why I didn't do it, where's the die? Here we are. So I'm going to die cut this with just one of the rectangle ones. So thank you and best wishes. I think that work really nice. Okay. Bear with me. Let me just take that from the sheet. And we can die cut this one out. Honestly, there are so many different combinations using these sentiments. You don't have to use them with the downloads either. I mean, they are perfect dies in themselves. So use any of your cardstock that you have stamp sentiments onto. You can use Lisa's wordage stickers if you've had them in the past. I think they would work perfectly on here also. I think the sizing is just right for those. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to replace that get well soon with the best wishes and pop it that way round. Okay, so that makes sense, doesn't it? You can see where I'm going with that now. So let me add that onto there. So we have our sentiment the right way round, layered onto the top, and you would never know that that said best wishes underneath. So that's layer that perfectly. So that has worked really nice. Now I am going to glue these onto the white blank that I used from earlier, because that's just going to make that just a little bit more stable for me, and also gives it a slightly more 3D nature. So it means now that I don't need to necessarily put 3D foam pads underneath this, because it's a double thickness of cardstock. It's going to add almost a shadow element to this embellishment as well. So we got there. Now there's a tiny little finishing touch that we need to do just to finish this off. Right, now I've got some, let's just, there we are, tidy that up. Oh, put a bit of extra glue on there. There we go, that'll stick better now. So you remember I said that here we have the tiny little triangle dies. That give the element of like folded ribbon look. So we have two tiny little triangles here. So let me just put them on the card. Can you see? Yes, you can. Tiny, tiny little things they are, but they will make such a difference to the overall look of what we're doing here. So let's turn them over. So I need to obviously die cut the pair of them twice. So I need 4 little triangles because I've got my two banners that I'm working with. So let's actually move that out the way. Okay, if you bear with me a second, we'll do that and we'll just cut 2 more. Okay. Put them straight back on my magnets because they are ideal size for me to lose. Okay, so just loosen them up. So we have our 4 little triangles there. Right, let's move them out of the way. So what we need to do, we pick up our little triangles and we need to fit them onto this section here to make sure that we get that little folded look on our banners. So I'm pretty sure there's a right way and a wrong way. I think that works. I know, just do it that way. Yes, that's the way that it works. So there is a right way and a wrong way to these triangles, and it's hard to explain, but once you have them in front of you, you'll be able to see it. Okay, so now we are getting into quite fiddly territory here, but then I always make this look more awkward than it is. I wish I was more delicate sometimes. Which way around is that going? Right, bear with me. So what I need to do now is just add a little bit of glue and line those up. Now I'm making this more fiddly than it actually needs to be. There we are. So that careful positioning of these will give the illusion that we have that it looks folded around at the back. I think it's really, really clever. That's that way around, okay. Running out of fingers, there we are. And then I can put the last one on. Oh, let's put the glue down first. Pick up the triangle. Thank goodness for picky up tools. I think I'd be stuck without these for sure, and tweezers. There we are. Now, if I come into camera 2 now, then we have a much closer look at this. Can you see now the effect that these little triangles have given? That looks like that the banner is folded around the back. So what I can do now, I can attach these and actually create that frame around those flowers. Now, obviously, you can 3D this as well if you want to. So I'll just add that there. And again, it's a super simple little card. It's a nice way to frame those gorgeous little flowers. And it's a nice way just to pull in all of the different aspects of Lisa's sets that you may have sitting there. So there we go. How pretty is that? That looks Actually, that's worked out really, really nicely. So it's a different way to use your banners. So say that's the conventional way, put that the right way around. But say turn it upside down. You may even be able to, if you're working on a larger card, create a larger frame. You might even be able to sort of spread these out and put two on the side as well. Have a play, die cut them and see what shapes are created with those. So that is another way. Where are we for time? Okay, so right, I think I will leave that there with you today. I've got one more card which I will make up and I shall put that into the group a little bit later on. But I think I've given you a good taste, a good flavour of how to use the sentiment dies. There's again, they are just perfect just to literally create a sentiment and put on the front of the card. I mean, you could even do that. That in itself works as well with the different colours and sparkle cards. You know, you don't need to go to the lengths of having design behind it. You know, allow your sentiment to be that central element of your card, or you really can go to town and create all sorts of, you know, lovely things with your sentiments. So do have a play. Thanks so much for joining me today. Sorry about the little glitch in the middle there. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but you all stayed with me, so that was perfect. Oh, not to worry, Dorothy, you can catch up a little bit later. So we did have a little glitch in the middle, so yeah, it might be best just hopefully it's not too much of a break in the middle there. But I shall be back with you again next week. Hopefully I'll try and do some stenciling with you next week, and use all these different new elements that have come in over the last couple of weeks. But enjoy the week, enjoy the sun if you have it. Spring is definitely here, I would say. And thank you for your company, and I shall see you all again soon.